It is day 36 of 365, and behind me is the most gorgeous cherry blossom tree, which I am bringing to you live in case you did not get a chance to experience it before they begin to fly away, which will be very soon. And today is Good Friday, and I always have this really beautiful memory that started on Good Friday that I want to share with you. And also, this is a story that I use on days like today when I woke up this morning and I had a ton of physical activities to do and my body was like wiped out, telling me, I'm not moving. And when I remind myself of this story, it gives me like a superpower. So on Good Friday, about 12 years ago, I had the worst toothache on my left jaw, the back of my mouth, and okay, they're flying away already. So I had this massive toothache that I've never had before, and it was my wisdom tooth coming out. And it was Good Friday, it was a holiday weekend, dentists were not working, I was going crazy. I called up about 100 dentists in my neighborhood, and I finally found someone that would do surgery on me. So I go to his office, happily go to his office, and see, they're flying. They're starting to fly. I went to his office, and his office was like a 5-star hotel. And not only that, so were his prices, by the way. Anyway, so he says that, you know what, I have another one on the right side that's not out. It's in the bone, but it's going to come out. So he's like, maybe we should get both of them out. So I said, sure, you're the expert. So he blindfolds me. Yes, he blindfolds me, and then a little while after, he takes it off, and I said, so when are you going to operate and pull out my teeth? And he's like, oh, I already did. And I was like, you already did? And he said, yeah, you're good. So then I'm thinking, all of the people that say like the wisdom tooth experience is the worst, I'm like, they are a chicken, because this was easy. And I had no pain. So I go home, no pain. 5 hours later, guess what happened? It started kicking in, and it was torturous. I'm telling you, I literally just wanted to die. And this went on for about 2.5 weeks. I had no relief. I went back to him. He said, some people just take a little longer or whatever it was. I was not getting better. And I stopped taking the medication, the antibiotics, everything, painkillers, because it wasn't doing me any good. And I started feeling like a drug addict. I was taking Percocet every hour, and all I did was scratch my skin. And so I just laid in bed one day, and a friend called me up, and he's like, Tina, how are you feeling? I said, you know what? I'm just going to accept this situation like I'm on dialysis, and this is just my life. I have a chronic illness, and it's just something I'm going to have to deal with from now on. And he's like, aren't you being a little dramatic? And I was like, no, I am not. If you were feeling how I was feeling, you would understand. And I got off the phone with him, and I laid in bed that entire day. And I didn't tell my mom about this, because my mom was already going through a lot of physical challenges, health issues, and I didn't want to worry her. But I started thinking, I remembered when we were moving to America about 31 years ago, a lot of the older men and women pulled out all of their teeth and got dentures before they moved here, because they were told that the dentist was really expensive. And a lot of them did, and so did my mom. And I gotta tell you, thank God they didn't do that to the little kids, like the 9-year-olds, because I can't imagine. But I probably wouldn't have had the wisdom tooth issues. Anyway, thank God they did not do that to us. So I called up my mom, and I said, Mom, what did you do? Like, when you went and they pulled out all your teeth, what medication did you take? What went on? She said, I went to the dentist, there was no anesthesia, they pulled out 6 of my teeth, and I just went back to work. And I was like, well, what medication were you on for the painkillers and all of that? And she's like, there was no medication. I pulled out my teeth, and then I went back to work. And I was like, okay. So I get off the phone with her. I'm laying in bed in awe of my mother and her superpower. And then I'm like, no medication, no anesthesia, no rest. And you know what happened? It's all coming back. I remember I could see myself laying on the bed talking to her and then pondering upon what she told me. Immediately after I really went deep thinking about what she said, all of my pain, every single thing that I was feeling disappeared. And it never came back. Seriously. And right before I called her, I was dying. I was like about to give up on my life. That's how bad it was. So this is a story I told at my mom's funeral. One of the stories about how my mom is like a Hercules, because she was. Anyway, whenever I have a scenario where I am so tested physically, or I don't want to do something, or there's just like, this morning was one of those times, I use this story to get me through it. I think back about her, I think about what she experienced. I remember how my pain just went away. It was so psychological, went away right after she told me she had no medication. And I always use this, and it brings me such delight, and it was on Good Friday that this began. So I wanted to share this with you also, because you could use this story and borrow it for yourself. If there is a time when you're going through something you don't want to go through physically, or you got stuff to do you don't want to do, remember my mom and have it help you get through it. So what happens when I think about this, it's like a superpower enters my body. Like I become Superwoman, and I just start moving, doing things that suddenly it's like, I'm like, who is this person? So that's what I wanted to share with you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.